Chapter 91, Lavis, the Entertainment Capital. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Monster, Daz Bones muttered, still feeling the effects of his injuries. He knew it would take him at least a week to recover from something like that. That kind of recoil? Only Genos would dare use it. Let me try. Rod took the gun from Genos, hefted it, and fired it at the sea. Boom. Another blast of power hit the water. Serious impact, Rod nodded, feeling the gun's strength. It wasn't as powerful as the ghost spider, but it was stronger than that Bastille guy they'd fought before. The downside was the recoil, almost half the power of the shot. Anyone strong enough to handle that kind of recoil could probably throw a punch harder than the gun could shoot. And anyone who needed the gun wouldn't be able to handle the kick. Total design fail. Rhodes held up his thumb and index finger, leaving a very small space. Genos glanced at Daz Bones, then back at Rhodes' unfazed arm, who's the monster. Time to dig out your stash. After seeing Genos' new weapon, Pecan and the others dragged Gray back to his lab, eager to see his past designs. They found plenty of impressive stuff, but as Gray had warned, most of it was flawed and ultimately failures. Guess we shouldn't have gotten our hopes up. Pecan looked bummed. This is awesome. Beepo struck a series of poses in a red and blue suit of armor. Cool, right? It's just a tin can. Pecan rapped his knuckles on Beepo's armor, another one of Gray's works in progress. He'd envisioned a wearable combat mecha, but he hadn't cracked the energy problem yet. As it was, the power source could only keep it running for 3 minutes max plus, even if they hooked it up to a stronger source, the mecha would probably just fall apart. Gray said the material strength wasn't up to snuff and he was researching new stuff. Still looks awesome. Beepo launched into another round of poses. I am the new sea warrior, Hero Beepo. So cheesy, Beepo. Sorry. He's like the 6-color Germa warrior. I see land. Neru's voice cut through the chatter, and everyone snapped to attention. We're finally here. They rushed to the deck, eyes fixed on the island silhouette on the horizon. Entertainment City, Lavis. As the Polaris drew closer, they could feel the island's vibrant energy. Even from the water, they could hear the distant sounds of laughter and music. Yes, Pecan and Shiachi were practically bouncing. Nerlu, Nia spun around, eyes blazing. What's up? Nerlu blinked, taken aback by her intensity. Can you use your observation hockey to predict stuff? I'm not great at it, but I can manage. Nerlu's observation hockey was more about sensing things than seeing the future. If it's called Entertainment City, there has to be a casino. Nia's eyes lit up like slot machines. Let's go clean house. I like your thinking. Before Neru could respond, Rhodes high-fived Nia. We want in. Pecan and Shiachi chimed in. I'm going to stock up on supplies. We're running low on food. Minina said, counting on her fingers. With a top-notch chef like her on board, they were burning through provisions fast. Then we'll help you with the shopping. Pecan and Shiachi switched gears instantly, flanking Minina like bodyguards. Great, I was worried I'd never be able to carry everything back myself. Minina beamed at them. She's so cute. We'll protect you, Sister Minina. Pecan and Shiachi were instantly fired up. I'll stay behind. Genos said after a moment's thought. It'll be packed with all sorts, so I'll stay and watch the ship. Plus, Bones isn't fully healed yet. He should stay too. Even though Entertainment City was so famous that even the Marines hesitated to interfere, a chaotic place like that still called for caution. Daz Bones nodded, he was still swathed in bandages, courtesy of Beepo. His injuries were mostly healed, but Beepo was determined to keep him wrapped up tight, and honestly, he was kind of curious about the island. Okay. Daz Bones managed to say, I have to protect the Polaris, a solemn mission entrusted to me by my friends. I'm going to see if there are any good medical texts on the island, and we need to resupply our medicines. Luo glanced at the thick bandages covering Daz Bones. They were running out of bandages. I'll go with Luo. Beepo stuck to Luo's side. He was the White Bear ship doctor, certified by Robin, and he needed to keep learning. If you guys are going to the bookstore, I'm coming too. Robin piped up. Even in an entertainment city, there should be at least a few bookstores, and who knew what interesting old books she might find. Then I'll tag along. Gray hesitated, then decided. He wasn't interested in the casino, and watching the ship was boring. He wouldn't be much help with the shopping. Yeah, the bookstore was the best bet. Maybe he'd stumble across some interesting documents. Woof woof. Sissy ran to Robin's feet, wagging her tail. You can come with us. Robin crouched down, patted Sissy on the head, and looked at Genos. Would you mind if Sissy came with us? She's been cooped up on the ship for too long. Chapter 92 Lucky Uncle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't sweat it. I'll take good care of her. Knowing the connection between Genos and Sissy, Robin simply nodded. This guy was clearly ready to wipe Baroque works off the map for messing with Sissy. Honestly, Robin was surprised he was even entrusting Sissy to her. That just meant she had to be extra careful. Alright, let's split up. Nera handed out the spending money, and the group divided into 3 teams and headed on to Lavis Island. Nap time. Watching the others leave, Genos popped open a beach umbrella, unfolded a lounge chair, and plopped down comfortably. Daz Bones watched Genos fall asleep instantly, then silently pulled out some training equipment from the next room and started a serious workout on deck. Asterisk, if you're not good enough, you gotta train harder. That's what Captain Rhodes always said. He knew he still had a long way to go. And he'd been a little arrogant before. He'd made a name for himself in the West Sea with his devil fruit powers, and he thought he was hot stuff, but meeting Captain Rhodes and the crew showed him he was just average. If he wanted to survive in this sea, relying on just that wasn't enough. He needed to master hockey, like Captain Rhodes said. While pushing his body, Daz Bones made a silent vow, until he unlocked the power of hockey, he wouldn't set foot on the island to relax. With that goal in mind, Daz Bones' mind settled, and the deck fell silent. We're here. Standing in front of the biggest casino in town, Nia was practically bouncing with excitement. Today, Nia the gambling goddess, was gonna clean house. Come on. She grabbed Neru's arm and dragged him into the casino. Grand? Rhodes glanced at the casino sign, a flicker of thought crossing his eyes. The name seemed familiar, but he couldn't quite place it. Hurry up, Rhodes. Nia was already exchanging money for chips and waving him over. How much did you get? Rhodes eyed the stack of chips in her hands. 5 million berries. That's it? Don't be such a show-off, Rhodes. 5 million is a fortune. Is it, really? He guessed it was easier to spend money when you didn't work for it. Most of their funds came from Doflamingo and Crocodile, so he wasn't too worried. Let's play something simple and direct. Nia steered them to a gambling table. Dice. Place your bets. Looking at the table and Nia's eager face, Neru gave a helpless smile. I can't see that far into the future. The rules were that you had to bet before the dealer rolled. Even if you bet at the last second, it would still take at least half a minute for the dealer to roll and the numbers to appear. With his observation hockey, there was no way to accurately predict what would happen that far in advance. Ah, man. Nia's face fell. Her plan to strike it rich was already falling apart. Just play it cool, maybe you'll get lucky. Rhodes chuckled at her expression, grabbed some chips, and wandered around the casino floor. Guess that's all I can do. Nia still looked disappointed. She'd been planning a total wipeout. Whoa. 10 wins in a row. What are you betting on this time, mister? Yeah, we're all tailing you. 10 wins in a row. Nia's ears perked up, and she spun around to see another table. Unlike their table, this one was packed, and the atmosphere was electric. Everyone was hyped, watching a middle-aged man sitting at the table. Heh, guess I'm just lucky. The man, wearing a purple kimono, sat behind a mountain of chips. I wanna bet too. After getting the story from the crowd, Nia beamed again, so her plan with Neru's observation hockey wasn't gonna work, but this lucky guy had won 10 times in a row. If she bet with him, she could still clean up. The method was different than she'd imagined, but the result would be the same. Alright, I'll bet on small this time. The man took a few chips from his pile and placed them on small. Small. I'm betting small too. Count me in. I'm going all in. After the man bet, everyone around him threw down a ton of chips on small, some even betting everything they had. Thanks to this guy, they'd multiplied their money several times over. Seeing the crowd's excitement, Nia gritted her teeth and put down her biggest chip, 1 million berries. A massive sum. Place your bets. After everyone put down their money, the dealer shook the dice. Nia held her breath, watching the machine intently. And the winner is 3, 6, small. We win. 11 wins in a row. Unbelievable. Did I just win 1 million berries? Nia looked at the chips in her hand, getting more excited by the second. She was destined to clean up today. Mister, what are you betting this time? Nia looked at the man surrounded by gamblers. Looks like my luck is really flowing today. The middle-aged man chuckled and gathered his winnings. He'd only bet 50,000 berries. Hey, man, you should bet more, the other gamblers urged him on. Gotta bet big when you're on a hot streak. He still had a mountain of chips in front of him, but he was only betting 50,000 berries at a time. If they had that kind of luck, they'd be betting everything they owned. Small bets are fun, big bets are trouble. The middle-aged man smiled at their suggestions and took out another 50,000 berries. I just like to gamble, not get rich. Besides, it's just a temporary win, doesn't mean I'll win every time. This time, I'm still betting on small. Me too. Count me in. I'm all in. The gamblers instantly bet everything, ignoring his earlier words. They were here to get rich quick. Chapter 93 Bakara. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 2 and 5, odd. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Sweet. I just raked in 5 mil. Talk about a lucky streak. One more win and I can finally kiss these gambling debts goodbye. The middle-aged dude beamed as he scooped up his winnings. Wow, this guy is seriously on fire. The click-clack of high heels cut through the noise as a knockout with big, pink, wavy hair sashayed through the crowd. Who's that? Hey, keep your eyes on the game, pal. Even with a total babe right in front of them, these gamblers were so deep in the hole all they saw was green. I'm Bakara, the casino's new senior manager. Today's my first day. She slipped off her shades and hooked them on her shirt, then flipped her hair, making her chest bounce. You guys are giving our dealer a workout. Bakara sidled up to the middle-aged guy, casually resting her arm on his shoulder and leaning in close. Mind if we give this lucky streak a break? Are you kidding me? What kind of way is that to run a business? So, a customer's having a good day and you want to shut him down? Is this how you treat your guests? The gamblers, briefly distracted by Bakara's killer figure, snapped back to reality and let their anger fly. Money talks, and it's louder than any hottie. Oh dear, looks like we'll just have to keep playing. Bakara straightened up, gave a little head shake, and strutted over to the other side of the table, waving for the sweaty dealer to take a hike. How about I deal for a while? Sounds good to me. The middle-aged guy shrugged. As long as he could keep the good times rolling, he was happy. Let's get this show on the road. Yeah, I'm gonna clean this place out. We're riding your coattails, buddy. The middle-aged guy tossed in chips worth another 50 grand. Still betting on odds. Odds. Me too, odds. All in. Everyone around the table slammed down their chips, afraid they'd miss out. And you, beautiful? Bakara locked eyes with Nia. Nia felt a knot in her stomach as she looked at the woman. She didn't know why, but she had a bad feeling about this round. We're going evens. Rhodes materialized beside Nia and slammed all of Nia's chips on evens. Alright, let's do this. Bakara grinned. Are you nuts? That was everything we had. Nia grabbed Rhodes' neck, eyes wide after seeing the chips he bet. You can't just bet it all at once. Relax. Rhodes stared at Bakara. This woman was a luck fruit user, sucking up everyone else's good fortune and hoarding it for herself. Talk about an overpowered ability, especially in a game of pure chance. It was like cheating with God mode on. You're totally crushing on her. Nia followed Rhodes' gaze to Bakara, gorgeous face, curves for days, and a dress slit all the way to, well, she was definitely working it. She was pure, unadulterated feminine power. Guilty as charged. Rhodes kept his eyes locked on Bakara. Right now, using his powers to steal devil fruits was still a game of chance, and according to the feedback Luo was giving him from his training, creating a totally isolated space to stop the fruit from respawning was next to impossible. Even if he maxed out his powers, he still wasn't sure if he could hit 100%. And as a rule, unless you're 100%, you could be 0%, Rhodes knew that all too well from back in his previous life, but what if he could add the luck fruit's ability into the mix? Wouldn't that crank up his success rate through the roof? Thinking about it, Rhodes got a serious rush. I'm taking that woman. Huh? Nia whirled around, staring at Rhodes like he'd lost it. Sure, Bakara was hot, but she wasn't that hot. Upstairs, in a room behind a one-way mirror, Tesoro swirled a glass of red wine, watching the hustle and bustle below. In this world, money pulled all the strings. Rich or poor, only a handful ever escaped the reach of wealth and him. With the power of the gold fruit, he could bend gold to his will, which meant he could bend most of the world to his will. Money talked, and his money could even sway the world government, even those so-called gods, the celestial dragons. Who's that purple-suited guy? Tesoro asked, noticing the commotion downstairs. Just some lucky middle-aged guy who's got everyone betting with him. It's costing us a fortune. A big-headed dude behind Tesoro explained the situation. But someone's already taking care of it. Oh, Tesoro eyed the hottie down below. That's Bakara. Applied for the job a few days ago. Beat a whole bunch of our gambling masters. Tesoro paused, taking a closer look at Bakara. His casino had a stable of top-tier gamblers to deal with players who tried to game the system, for her to smoke them one after another. What's her specialty? Everything, the big-headed man added. Nobody even saw how she did it. Interesting. Tesoro polished off his wine. After this is over, have Mr. Tanaka bring her up to see me. Setting down the empty glass, Tesoro took one last look at the hall. As he turned to leave, he stopped dead in his tracks and stared at the crowd. That woman. Tesoro's eyes landed on Nia. She looked familiar. Chapter 94 Gambling, Gambler. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Alright, let's buy this place and get out of here. Bakara glanced at Rhodes, her smile never wavering, then swept her gaze over the excited gamblers, a playful smile tugging at her lips. Ding, star, with a delicate click, Bakara opened the cover. Oh my, oh my. 26, a double. Covering her mouth with one hand, Bakara feigned surprise with an exaggerated smile. Looks like everyone lost except our red-haired friend here. No way. Something's gotta be rigged. Beginner's luck, huh? My money. Damn it, that was my daughter's life savings. Bakara's smile remained fixed as she surveyed the disgruntled gamblers. Our casino never cheats its customers, never would. Guess you just weren't as lucky as me. It's your fault. We were winning until you showed up. I bet you pulled some kind of trick. Fueled by desperation, a gambler, his eyes bloodshot, lunged at Bakara. Give me back my money. Oh, dear. While our casino doesn't resort to cheating, it's also not a place where you can just cause a ruckus. Facing the crazed gambler, Bakara calmly stepped aside, and instantly a hulking figure materialized beside her, swinging a fist at the approaching gambler. Boom, star, the gambler went flying, crashing through the casino wall and leaving a gaping, human-shaped hole. Now you owe the casino even more, thanks to the wall repair costs. Looks like you'll be paying off that debt for the rest of your life. Bakara tossed her hair, her gaze sweeping over the stunned gamblers. Anyone else feel like causing trouble? After a quick glance at the muscle-bound man beside her, the gamblers shook their heads in unison. Life's too short to throw it away for money lost. Quite a show. The middle-aged man, who'd been steadily winning, finally spoke up. However, I still have some chips left. Mind if I keep playing? Throughout the previous round, the older man had only bet 50,000 belly each time. Although the other gamblers who copied his bet had lost, he still had a mountain of chips in front of him. Of course, Bakara glanced at the middle-aged man before turning her attention to Rhodes. And you, handsome? You won big a minute ago. Want to keep the streak alive? Rhodes didn't answer immediately, his eyes fixed on the purple-clad man. He'd been so focused on Bakara that, with the crowd gathered around, he hadn't gotten a good look at the man. Now, he could see the man clearly. He was a middle-aged man with short black hair and a face etched with experience. A distinctive, X-shaped scar bisected his forehead, running right through his eyes. It was the man who would later become an admiral in the Navy headquarters, with the power of the gravity fruit. Didn't think I would be meeting acquaintances so soon. Young man, do I know you from somewhere? Isho suddenly turned his head, his pale, pupilless eyes facing Rhodes. I've just heard about you. Rhodes replied. I see. Isho nodded slightly, but his doubts remained. Though he destroyed his own eyes and was unable to see, his observation hockey had grown even stronger as a result. He could even sense the emotions of those around him. Judging by the emotions he detected from this young man, the other party seemed strangely familiar with him. You're in on it together. A gambler suddenly burst in front of Isho, glaring with bloodshot eyes. First, they put on a show to get us to bet, letting us win a few times. Then, once we'd bet everything, they rigged the game to take it all back. Yeah, that has to be it. As if grasping at a lifeline, the other gamblers turned on Isho, their eyes burning with accusation. Use your chips to pay us back. That's right. This is too much. Nia watched the gamblers swarm the middle-aged man, her expression sour. They bet everything hoping to strike it rich, and now they're trying to blame others for their losses. That's just low. They are just scared of the casino's bouncers. They know they can't touch the casino, but this uncle is easy pickings. Rhodes watched the scene play out calmly. The world was always like this. The weak take it out on those weaker than them, and the strong fight those stronger. These gamblers, driven by desperation, were simply looking for an excuse to seize property from someone they saw as weaker. However, the real reason these people were weak was that they lacked the ability to see through the lies. In their eyes, the blind man was clearly an easier target than the casino's hulking guards. Looks like they are going to learn another lesson about betting star. No way, I'm going to kick their butts. They're being so messed up. Nia began rolling up her sleeves. It's unnecessary. Rhodes reached out and stopped Nia. That uncle is very powerful. Indeed. It is precisely because there is so much filth in this world that I chose to close my eyes forever. It's too much to bear. Though he couldn't see with his eyes, Isho sensed everything around him better than anyone. He could clearly feel the raw malice and greed emanating from the crowd. It's a blessing to be blind. Isho slowly stood up. Towering over the average person, he unconsciously made the two closest gamblers step back. At the end of the day, they were just reckless gamblers, faced with a man who looked far stronger than them. Even knowing he was blind, they couldn't help but feel intimidated. Just a small lesson, that's all. Isho drew the cane sword he'd been carrying and slowly unsheathed it. What's going on? Something's wrong with my body. So heavy. A flash of sword light seemed to ripple through the air. The gamblers nearest to Isho suddenly felt their bodies grow heavy and uncontrollable. The next moment, they were forced to their knees, then pinned face first to the ground, unable to move. Incredible. Watching the gamblers get instantly subdued, Nia's eyes widened as she stared at Isho. If she had tried to intervene, the outcome would have been the same as what happened to those guys. Who is this uncle? Chapter 95 Golden Emperor. Golden Brother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suddenly, footsteps approached. If I'm not mistaken, you guys are the Rhodes pirates. Rhodes turned toward the voice. Standing before him was a man decked out in pink clothes and gaudy gold jewelry. He eyed Rhodes and Nia like they were prey. A friend asked me to entertain you. Sounds like he's looking for trouble, Rhodes muttered, sensing the blatant malice. Rhodes figured it out. Tetsolo, wasn't he partnered with Doflamingo? The friend he's talking about must be Doflamingo. First things first, is the lady with you? Rhodes asked, gesturing to Bakara. Bakara had subdued the gamblers but stood quietly, observing the situation. Tetsolo glanced at the statuesque woman. While I don't know your game, she is a new employee at the Grand Casino. Just joined, huh? Good to know. Rhodes nodded. If she'd been here longer, things might get messy. He sized Tetsolo up, as if he already owned him. Tetsolo laughed, infuriated. Interesting. Sounds like you want to take me. That he couldn't remember the last time someone dared to steal from him in his own territory. So, how are you planning to entertain us? Rhodes asked, glancing at a figure that hadn't moved since Tetsolo arrived. Asterisk, that guy's more dangerous than Tetsolo. Tetsolo's smile widened. By turning you all into solid gold statues for my friend. With a flick of his wrist, a ring shot off his finger, expanding rapidly as it hurtled toward Rhodes. Asterisk, boom. A black fist slammed into the golden ring, sending it flying. Rhodes retracted his fist and looked at Tetsolo. I like gold, sure, but I don't want to become gold. Not bad, Tetsolo said, retrieving the ring. But this is my house. Instantly, the gold decorations throughout the casino began to writhe, surging toward Tetsolo. What's going on? So much gold. Run. The gold gathered before him like a liquid he controlled. I have the gold fruit ability. I control every piece of gold I've ever touched. More and more gold flowed from everywhere, concentrating in front of him. Talk about fighting in style. Nia gasped, staring at the sheer volume of gold. Imagine how many berries that's worth. Rhodes, we gotta beat him. Don't worry, we will. Tetsolo scoffed. Beat me? You've got no idea who you're messing with. His face contorted with fury. You little punks are gonna learn the hard way. He flung his arms wide. The gold surged toward Rhodes like a tidal wave. The only one who doesn't know their place is you. Rhodes clenched his fist, then unleashed a punch. Asterisk 6 King's gun, armament hockey enhanced. Asterisk boom. The impact generated a shockwave, blasting the gold apart and slamming into Tetsolo's chest. Ugh! Tetsolo staggered back. He hadn't anticipated such power. The 6 King's gun tore through him, the armament hockey leaving behind a second, internal injury. He coughed up blood, doubling over. Kid! Tetsolo's face twisted in fury. He hadn't taken Rhodes seriously. Sure, they'd escaped Zifa, but Zifa was just an old-timer past his prime. Even the Navy hadn't bothered to update their bounties. Asterisk rookie pirates, that's all they are. Asterisk, and I'm the Golden Emperor, who controls the flow of money in this world, the new king of the underworld. He planned to use them to grease the wheels with Joker. Asterisk, looks like I was wrong. However, this chance was an accident. Now that he was aware, he wouldn't be careless again. He manipulated the gold, forming it into golden armor around himself. The process was quick. The gold was drawn to him even as Rhodes' shockwave landed, but too slow. Rhodes appeared in front of him, an uppercut coated in armament hockey slamming into Tetsolo before he could fully armor himself. Asterisk bang, asterisk. Hearing Rhodes' voice, Tetsolo focused all his hockey on protecting himself, because he didn't know where the attack would land. His protection was thin, and ineffective against Rhodes' concentrated attack. Asterisk, it's not enough. Tetsolo flew backward, the realization hitting Rhodes hard. Fighting Tetsolo after battling Zifa highlighted the gap between them. He was suppressed in the fight with Zifa. Zifa had the advantage in technique and hockey, only his physical strength was a match for the old asthmatic Marine, but the Golden Emperor in front of him? He's nothing, asterisk maybe his talent and energy are focused more on singing and business, star. Asterisk his combat awareness and hockey are nothing special, star. Asterisk I just hope his devil fruit ability is well developed, asterisk. Chapter 96 The Golden Giant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Golden Bomb. The Tesoro guy was sent flying. His gold finally caught up, instantly forming a suit of armor. He swung a fist, and a huge explosion ripped through the air, boom. A shockwave blasted outwards, scattering debris in every direction, with Tesoro at the epicenter. That's a bit much. Isho frowned. Innocent people are gonna get hurt. If that attack spread, most of the casino would be caught in the crossfire. Isho gripped his cane sword and slashed. A lavender halo pulsed outwards, freezing the flying debris midair before it all crashed to the ground. What the? Tesoro, taking advantage of Rhodes's lack of pursuit, landed a good distance away, fear etched on his face. What the heck was that? Gravity control. Tesoro's eyes darted around, remembering the gold he'd just lost control of. It wasn't just that he'd lost control. It was like something else had taken over. This blind guy is strong. And he's with them? If so, the Rhodes pirates are seriously scary. That Joker guy's gotten himself a real handful. Young man, you must be a pirate. With Tesoro's attack contained, Isho turned his sightless eyes towards Rhodes. Old-timer, you're not Navy. Rhodes countered. Isho paused. Indeed, I am not Navy. Nor a bounty hunter. No. Isho shook his head. Though I occasionally take on jobs that resemble bounty hunting. Rhodes blinked. He really hadn't known that the future Admiral Fujitora had a side hustle. However, I have no intention of arresting you right now, and I don't plan on interfering in your fight. But I won't let innocent bystanders get caught in the middle and die. If you can't prevent that, you'll have to deal with me. Isho gripped his cane sword, his face stern, radiating an aura that made both Tesoro and Rhodes take notice. Looks like the fight's off. Rhodes glanced at the packed casino. Even though the fight had been brief, it had made quite a scene. But only a few had sensed the danger and bailed. Most of the gamblers were still glued to the tables, oblivious, lost in their games. Are you including those types in your protection? They're just ordinary people, even if they're gambling addicts, Isho said with a faint smile. Rhodes gave the future Admiral Fujitora a long look. Compared to most of the current Navy, this guy was closer to Rhodes's own sense of justice, a man who believed in benevolent justice and genuinely cared for the people. Bakara, right? With Isho's intervention, the fight was clearly over, and Rhodes turned his attention to Bakara. Oh my, what an honor to catch the eye of blue-eyed Rhodes, the supernova everyone's talking about. Bakara batted her eyelashes, a wide smile on her face. What can I do for you? I like you a lot. Join my crew. Rhodes cut right to the chase. Bakara was taken aback. She was a nobody. Why would a pirate like him want her? You've got a nerve, kid. Seeing Rhodes completely ignore him and try to poach one of his people, Tesoro's anger flared. If you don't say no, I'll take that as a yes. Come with us. Ignoring Tesoro, Rhodes decided for Bakara before she could even speak. Her luck fruit ability was vital to the future of their crew. No matter what she thought, Rhodes was taking her, even if he had to use force. You've really crossed the line, kid. Having been ignored again and again, Tesoro finally snapped. With a roar, gold surged from every corner of the casino. In the blink of an eye, the place was a sea of gold. Great. Isho levitated himself, using his powers to control the ground beneath him. Debris floated around him. Even in mid-air, gamblers were climbing onto the gaming tables, arguing and trying to keep their games going. Below them, a massive wave of gold was rising, turning everything into a glittering landscape. This is my territory, she belongs to me, and I decide the fate of everyone here. With another roar, a colossal golden giant rose from the sea of gold and roared at Rhodes, who was hovering in the air using moonwalk. How's your moonwalk going? Think you can get her out of here? Rhodes grabbed Bakara with one hand and turned to Nia, who was also levitating using moonwalk. Just barely. Nia still didn't know why Rhodes was so fixated on this woman, but she took her from Rhodes anyway. You're a smart one. Don't do anything stupid. Handing Bakara over to Nia, Rhodes warned her, after all, it was a semi-forced invitation, and Rhodes was worried she might try something. Oh, I'm as good as gold. Bakara winked at Rhodes, flashing a charming smile. After all, I'm lucky. This is fate making the best possible choice for me. Good to know. Rhodes realized something, her luck hasn't run out yet, she doesn't have to do anything, everything will develop in her favor, whether she joins the Rhodes pirates or Tesoro takes her back, that will be the luckiest result for her. In that case, there's no need to worry, because he was going to win this fight. Chapter 97 Come face to face with me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't even think about getting away. The words slammed into Nia's ears just after she got Bakara out of the Golden Sea. A second later, a dude in golden armor with a ridiculously oversized head popped up beside them, *whoosh, star, Nia set Bakara down, then instantly closed the gap and unleashed a vicious kick, *boom, star, missed. Nia's foot slammed into the ground, spiderwebbing cracks everywhere, *whoosh star, the big-headed guy materialized a few feet away, leveling a pistol at them. No use, no use. I'm Tanaka. I ate the pierce fruit. I can phase through anything. Your attacks can't touch me. Tanaka started blasting away, but the bullets only grazed them both, that kind of terrible accuracy. Is that your doing? Nia asked Bakara. Back in the Golden Sea, Bakara had spilled the beans about her devil fruit ability. Knowing that, Nia finally understood why Rhodes was so hot to get his hands on her. After all, according to Rhodes himself, they always had to sacrifice a basically, absorb bad luck in hopes of good luck next time, whenever they snagged a devil fruit, and this woman could straight up improve luck. She was basically the ultimate cheat code for Rhodes' whole devil fruit hustle. Seeing Tanaka's terrible aim, Nia immediately connected it to Bakara's powers. Probably not. Even though Bakara could absorb other people's luck and add it to her own, the amount was hard to pin down, luck was an elusive thing. She had no way of knowing how much she had right now, or if she was even burning through her own supply. The only way to tell was to see what happened. However, she did know a few things about the big-headed weirdo. This guy gets off on deliberately missing his shots and then torturing his victims. Seriously? That's messed up. Nia exclaimed. This is a spectacular performance I've meticulously prepared. After I've tortured you two to my heart's content, I'll send you on your way. You sick freak. Watching the big-headed maniac jump all over the place, popping in and out of sight while firing his golden pistol, Nia's blood started to boil. You can try to catch me, too. While flashing around using his powers, Tanaka kept taunting them, tormenting his prey was his favorite game, shave, star, Nia blurred into motion, trying to nail him, but he was too quick, always just out of reach. We. You're really putting in the work. This is awesome. The harder she chased him, the more pleasure Tanaka got from staying one step ahead. He was practically giddy with delight. You're an enemy, huh? A towering, muscular guy stood over Nelu, glaring down. Let me, Deus, be your opponent. A sniper. Spotting the black rifle in Nelu's hands, Deus' face clouded with disappointment. Not good enough. Your attacks won't even tickle me. As he spoke, Deus stretched out his hand. A stream of the surrounding gold instantly coalesced into a massive golden battle axe in his grip. He even kept an eye on this fight with Rhodes and made weapons and armor for his crew. This Golden Emperor is for real. Nera didn't rush into the fight, calmly assessing the situation. *whoosh, star. A golden blur. Nelu sidestepped and instantly reappeared a good distance away. He raised his black rifle, aiming at Deus. Definitely strong. A real powerhouse. But surprisingly fast. 2. Not bad. You've got speed, Deus said, tilting his head and grinning at Nelu. You're a sniper. Come on, give me your best shot, that he pointed a thumb at his own forehead. Right here. Go for it, asterisk so, he's a masochist, star. Nalu's expression didn't change. His grip on the black rifle remained rock-steady. If you insist. In a blur of motion, Nalu rattled off several shots at Deus, almost simultaneously. No matter the enemy's state of mind, you never passed up an opening, asterisk bang. Bang. Bang, star. Specially made bullets crackled with hockey, slamming into Deus' forehead, one after another. Bang, Deus' head snapped back, a spray of bright red blood erupting. That's the stuff. Deus lowered his head, revealing a forehead completely armored with armament hockey, a nasty gash marked his skin, and blood trickled down his face. Give me more, asterisk definitely a masochist, star. Naru couldn't help but sigh again as he took in Deus' hockey-infused forehead. While Naru's armament hockey wasn't the strongest, the boosted bullets combined with the rifle's raw power packed a punch. He'd tested it against the Navy. Even brigadier-level officers couldn't shrug them off. Just now, he'd fired 5 shots in quick succession, his observation hockey guiding them to the exact same spot, and yet, this beast called Deus had shrugged off the bullets, using armament hockey and his own insane constitution to walk away with just a scratch. Physically and mentally, the guy was a straight-up freak. What? All out of gas. Deus' face flickered with disappointment. He snatched up his golden battle axe. Then, let me give it to you. Despite his massive frame, Deus moved with shocking speed. He closed the distance in an instant, raising the golden axe high and bringing it crashing down, asterisk boom, star. The moment the axe bit into the ground, a shockwave exploded outward. The ground shattered, and shards of rock turned into deadly projectiles. Don't go running off, kid, Deus said, looking up at Naru. Face me like a man. Chapter 98 Rhodes' Hegemony. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Golden fire. The golden giant that had crawled out of the golden ocean roared and swung its massive fist, aiming to crush Rhodes, Nia, and Bakara. Rhodes stepped forward, shielding Nia and the others, and threw a powerful punch of his own. As Rhodes's fist flew, dark, domineering energy surged through him and exploded outwards. Bang. The two fists collided. The golden giant's fist was many times larger than Rhodes himself, yet the impact showed they were evenly matched. Not bad, Rhodes said, feeling the force on his arm. He grinned slightly. How about you try this? Rhodes pulled back his fist, lowered his stance, and gathered all his strength. Six King's Spear. A powerful shockwave erupted, carrying Rhodes's domineering aura, and slammed into the golden giant's fist. Crack. To Tesoro's disbelief, crack spiderwebbed across the golden giant's fist, and then it shattered completely. Impossible. Looks like your gold's not so tough after all. My power is absolute. As if wounded, the golden giant roared. The gold under its feet surged upwards, repairing the broken arm and enlarging the golden body even more. I control gold, making me the richest man in the world. And wealth controls everyone. Those without money are nothing, puppets to be controlled. That's a pretty small way of thinking, Rhodes said, shaking his head at the enlarged golden giant. Money? It's just a number. Whether it's berries or gold, their value comes from people believing in them. If nobody cares, berries are just scrap paper, and gold is just metal. Fists, on the other hand, are the only real power in this world. The strong rule, and the strong control gold and wealth. You might control gold, but I control these fists. You'll just be a footnote to my victory. Then come and beat me, the golden giant roared, clenching its larger fist and bringing it down on Rhodes. As the fist descended, intense heat gathered around it. Rhodes could feel a powerful destructive force building. This was Tesoro's awakened ability with the gold fruit, the ability to use molten gold. The heat it produced was like a high-yield explosion. Large-scale attacks like that are a pain. Rhodes drew the huazhou sword from his waist, held it with both hands, and raised it high. He crouched slightly, slowly building up his power. Is he a swordsman? Tesoro wondered, seeing Rhodes draw his weapon, but it didn't matter. Nobody could survive this. Bagua, facing Tesoro's descending golden fist, Rhodes unleashed all his power and swung the Huazhou violently. A massive, columnar shockwave shot out in the direction of Rhodes's swing. The visible shockwave slammed into Tesoro's golden fist with devastating force, creating a deafening roar, boom. The terrifying shockwave pierced Tesoro's golden fist instantly. The shockwave continued, slamming directly into Tesoro's chest and blasting a huge hole through the golden giant. How can this be? Inside the golden giant, Tesoro was stunned, his fruit had awakened, and the golden giant was his ultimate technique. It was this move that had allowed him to face Doflamingo and make Doflamingo, who initially planned to kill him, give up and cooperate instead, and this kid had just blown right through it. What kind of crazy technique was that? Impressive. Just as you'd expect from a giant's ultimate move. Rhodes said, nodding at the result of his hegemony. Gathering all the strength of his body, using a specific stance, combining it with unique power techniques, and launching it instantly through his weapon, while perfectly integrating Haki, it maximized the user's power and caused far more damage than usual, but such power came at a cost. It put immense strain on both the user and the weapon. Rhodes gripped the Huazhou in his hand. His own body was fine. He could probably use the move a few more times. But if Huazhou was pushed too much, it would probably break. "You're strong," said Tesoro's voice from inside the golden giant. "But you can't beat me with just that." The gold surged wildly, quickly repairing the golden giant. In moments, it was back to its original state. "That move must have taken a lot out of you. How many times can you use it?" Tesoro controlled the golden giant to take stance again. Countless streams of gold surged around it, forming flowing golden pillars for protection. "And my gold is limitless. Devil fruit awakenings are a pain," Rhodes muttered, frowning at the surging golden ocean. After awakening, the power a user could unleash was far greater than before. A paramecia user like Tesoro, once awakened, could even affect the surrounding environment and turn the battlefield into his own domain. The longer this went on, the better it would be for him. In that case, Rhodes gripped Huazhou again, assuming the Bagua stance. Domineering Haki instantly enveloped Huazhou, turning it completely black. 2 more times should do it. Bagua, the terrifying columnar shockwave blasted out again, tearing through Tesoro's golden giant with devastating force. Chapter 99, Rhodes's Dominant Fist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Click. Rhodes heard the snap from Huazhou loud and clear. It was, after all, just one of the 50 skills for a decent blade, known more for its sharpness than its durability. Huazhou wasn't exactly hard as nails. Even when Rhodes channeled his Conqueror's Haki, reinforcing Huazhou by wrapping it in his own power, it helped, but it wasn't enough. After using Conqueror's Haki twice, Huazhou was already starting to buckle. "Ha ha ha ha. I'm unstoppable. You can punch through my golden body once, twice, as many times as you want. But no matter how many times you knock me down, I'll come back stronger." Tesoro cackled, and a fresh surge of gold rushed in to fill the hole he'd made, reforming the golden giant in an even more menacing pose. "And you? You're just a human. If I take you down once, it's game over." As Tesoro howled, gold surged around him, solidifying into massive tentacle-like pillars. The golden giant raised a hand, and the pillars swung around to point directly at Rhodes. "I am a god. Gold, divine punishment." The golden pillars twisted together, merging into one colossal beam. The golden giant hurled it forward like a missile, and the sheer force of Tetsolo's Haki amplified the blast. "God, huh?" Rhodes's red hair whipped back, revealing the icy glint in his turquoise eyes. He radiated an aura of menace that rivaled, and maybe even surpassed, Tetsolo's. Hearing Tetsolo's boast, watching the mountain of gold bearing down on him, Rhodes unleashed his own Haki. In an instant, Huazhou was cloaked in black. "There is no god." Buzz. An ear-splitting roar ripped through the air, unleashing a shockwave more terrifying than the last. The force of the blast shook the very air, causing Nero and the others, locked in their own fight nearby, to briefly freeze. Boom. the shockwave slammed into the oncoming pillar of gold, but this time, the golden construct didn't shatter. You think you're the only one with hockey? A twisted grin stretched across Tetsolo's face as he watched his divine punishment hold. He hadn't become Doflamingo's partner and the new king of the underworld based on money alone, he had the power to back it up. But there's hockey, and then there's hockey. Rhodes's eyes widened, and a fresh surge of power flooded his body. Tetsolo's expression twisted into a mask of horror as the shockwave grew even thicker, its raw power tunneling through the gold and straight towards him. No! The shockwave tore through Tesoro's attack, blowing a gaping hole in the golden giant's chest and nearly splitting it in two. Huazhou's had it. Rhodes glanced down at the blade in his hand, several cracks ran along its surface, it was the first-named blade he'd ever owned. It was just a decent one, but it held a lot of meaning, but it had gone through a lot, and it was finally about to be done, one more hockey-infused strike, and it would shatter. Ha ha ha, cough, ha, the manic laughter echoed again. Rhodes looked up to see Tetsolo hauling himself out of the golden sea, one hand clamped over his mouth. Blood trickled through his fingers, painting crimson blossoms on the surface of the gold. Your weapon's useless. That was a sword skill, right? Something you need a weapon to do. But your sword's breaking. I saw the cracks. You can't use those sword tricks anymore. As he spoke, the gold at Tetsolo's feet churned, wrapping around him until another, smaller golden giant loomed before Rhodes. I told you, my power is invincible, Tesoro's voice dripped with arrogance. I can be knocked down once, twice, but gold will always bring me back. You only need to fall once. It's over, the golden giant pulled back, coiling up like a spring, ready to launch a punch. Gold Karma Fire Bomb. Seriously, Rhodes couldn't help but shake his head. Did you forget I'm better with my fists than with swords? He sheathed Huazhou, jamming the scabbard into the ground. He shifted his stance, balancing his weight and covering his right fist with his left palm. Besides, who says you need a sword for sword skills? Swords aren't that important, the golden fist wasn't as large as the one before, but it still packed a serious punch. Judgment of the Golden God was fueled by the raw power of the gold fruit. Golden Fire Bomb was the ultimate application of that fruit, the crushing weight of the gold, the burning heat of molten gold, and the power of all-out hockey. This was Tesoro at his peak, pouring everything he had into one strike. He would crush Rhodes, now that his weapon was useless. The wind screamed ahead of the fist, whipping Rhodes's hair back and revealing the confident grin on his face. In his fight with Ghost Spider, Rhodes had learned to channel and release hockey in his fists. Then, combined with Neo's youth training manual and his mastery of life return, he had invented the Six King gun. During the battle with Zifa, he had successfully integrated hockey and the Six King gun to make his own Six King gun, hockey-infused version, and from the two giant uncles, Rod learned the skills of hegemony. Hegemony is a skill that condenses the strength of the whole body and the domineering together, and compresses it into a point and bursts out in an instant. Since it is a combat skill, there is no reason that it can only be released through weapons. Rhodes clenched his right fist, building power, and met the golden fist head-on. Hegemony Fist. Chapter 100. I'm afraid the captain will misunderstand. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fist of Fury. Rhodes' fist connected, unleashing a devastating force that shattered the golden fist and engulfed Tesoro's giant golden form. I told you, don't underestimate me just because I'm not using a sword. Why does everyone assume I'm helpless without a weapon? Rhodes winced, clenching his right fist, a flicker of pain in his arm mingling with a hint of satisfaction in his eyes. He was injured. Pushing hegemony through his bare flesh was taking a toll. Even with all his training, his body wasn't immune, but this was exactly what he needed. If Luo could heal the damage, he'd break through to the next level. Rhodes used his left hand to retrieve Huazhou from the ground and sheathed it at his waist. It was a memorable weapon, worthy of his collection. Ignoring the shockwave's impact on Tesoro, Rhodes glanced over to where Nia and Nelu were fighting. Nice, a smile spread across his face. Looks like they're both coming into their own. What's the matter? Can't keep up. Nia grabbed Tanaka by the ankle, hoisting him upside down. His head, already oversized, had taken a beating from Nia's kicks, silencing his usual annoying laughter. You're getting fast. Nia was in her half-animal form, complete with black cat ears and a gently swishing tail. I just anticipated where you were going to be. Nia grinned, flashing sharp teeth, her yellow, slit pupils gleaming with excitement. She was finally starting to understand how Rhodes and Nelu always seemed to predict their opponents' moves. Was this observation hockey? Some seriously powerful stuff. Throughout the fight, as the big-headed dude across from her kept taunting her, Nia had finally tapped into observation hockey. Called it, Bakara said, watching in the distance as the golden giant was blasted away, a faint smile playing on her lips. Captain Rhodes won, lucky me. Bakara, you betrayed Master Tesoro, Tanaka screeched, glaring at the statuesque woman beside him. He remembered interviewing her for the job just a few days ago. Whoa, hey, let's not jump to conclusions. Bakara covered her mouth. I'm a newbie, still on probation after just 2 days. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Wouldn't want Captain Rhodes to get the wrong idea. Assuming you even have a future, that is. You witch, Tanaka sputtered, enraged. Nia shot Bakara a curious look. The woman had a sharp tongue on her. What's wrong? All you can do is dodge. A brutal headbutt pulverized the ground. Deus looked up at Nelu, who had reappeared a short distance away. I told you, bring it on, head to head. Bang, bang, bang. A barrage of bullets tore through the air, targeting Deus's body. I told you, that's a waste. Without even trying to evade, Deus coated himself in a layer of black armament hockey, deflecting Nelu's shots. Just do what you did at the beginning and try to blow my head off. I won't even move. Ignoring the taunts, Nelu calmly maintained his distance, the black gun never wavering from its target. This guy was a real pain, though. His body was a tank, and he clearly knew his way around armament hockey. Ordinary bullets wouldn't even scratch him. Even with focused, repeated shots at the same spot, he wouldn't take any meaningful damage. His armament hockey wasn't strong enough. Nelu's fingers tightened on the gun, turning slightly white. If this was all he had, how could he help Rhodes? Rhodes's opponent was on a whole different level. Nelu's eyes drifted to the golden armor and battle axe Deus wielded. They were created with Tesoro's powers, giving Deus increased speed, strength, and defense. Nelu's bullets couldn't even pierce that stuff. If Tesoro's creations were this powerful, how formidable was the man himself? Ever since they set sail, Rhodes had faced every major threat alone, and even fighting the weaker foes was a struggle for the rest of them. Nyla knew he was improving, but he wasn't even close to keeping pace with Rhodes's growth. Distracted, Deus's booming laughter shattered Nelu's focus. In a flash, the gun was ripped from his grasp. You know, gambling's all about taking your opponent's chips. Clutching Nelu's gun, Deus grinned. Now, let's see what else you've got to offer. Enveloping his head in hockey, Deus's head turned an obsidian black, almost metallic. Here I come. If you've got nothing left, you're done for. Deus spun, launching himself at Nelu with a headbutt. Boom. 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 Deus's head slammed into the ground over and over. Using observation hockey to anticipate the attacks, Nelu desperately dodged, unable to retaliate. Looks like that's all you've got. Ending his barrage of headbutts, Deus reached for the golden battle axe, stepping closer to Nelu. This is getting boring. I'll just kill you and find someone more interesting to fight. Deus approached Nelu, raising the axe high. Click. A sharp crack echoed from the armor. Then, cracks started spiderwebbing across Deus's armor and the axe itself. What the? Deus was visibly shocked at the sudden change. Tesoro's power created the axe and armor. The only way they would shatter like that was if Lord Tesoro lost. You're distracted too. A flicker of red sparked in Nelu's eyes. Exploiting Deus's moment of shock, Nelu moved. Iron shards and broken jade. His feet blurred, slamming into the ground dozens of times in the blink of an eye. Amplifying the force of shave to propel himself skyward, he then executed a moonwalk, assisted alley-oop, whipping his body into a spinning vortex. Activating Iron Body, to harden his calf muscles, focusing all his power into that point of impact, then layering it with armament hockey to amplify the damage even further. While he couldn't copy Rhodes' complete grasp of the 6 powers, Mtlnovel had mastered the techniques, developing his unique combination and application skills.